Welcome back, everyone, to the Barely News Crew. I'm your host, yours always, Alexis, and I just love my crew.
Oh, yes, he does.
I'm joined here by Peter and Kyle. He'll be appearing as a disembodied voice, which means there's no reason to be on camera. You'll be a disembodied voice. Okay, moving on. This is a BNC Round-UP. Hopefully, you'll get more views than last time. And we are going to preview Captain America Civil War the same way we did for Batman v Superman. Disney released this movie a month in advance for critics. People have raved this movie, and it currently has a 97% Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Which is their best reviewed movie in Marvel. So I think, honestly, at this point, what the expectation is this will be Marvel's best movie.
It better be good.
We all, well, not all of us, I expected this to be an amazing movie. People here... I won't name names, but they had doubts.
Concerns, and they were legitimate based on the movies that they have already done.
Oh my god.
Concerns.
With Russo's doing this movie.
Hey, you haven't seen the movie yet.
I haven't seen the movie, but everything that I suspected this movie would be received has been received.
No, I always thought it would be received very well. But that doesn't mean I didn't have some concerns. Yes.
I expect... Black Panther to be awesome and to be somewhat of a resonant emotional figure in the movie, and I expect Spider-Man to be goofy and silly and fun and just catches the scene. And from the TV spots that we've seen, look, I want to point this out right here. Again, I've said this many times, I'm not Spider-Man's biggest fan, but you got a metal arm? That's awesome. That makes me just fall in love with that character. I'm telling you. Just that little... I'm kind of mad for seeing that now instead of in the movie.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to ignore.
I know, I'm avoiding them, but that's still such an incredibly amazing moment.
Black Panther, I always thought they would do a good job, but one of the concerns was the costume. Running around as a big cat. That could be interpreted as silly, especially in our internet age. I love his eyes. I love they're doing the white eyes because that's something I always wanted them to do with Batman. I'm like, just give me the Batman with the white, cartoon eyes.
Based on what we've heard, the consensus and unanimous when it comes to this, every character gets their moment to shine.
Yes, which is exactly what I wanted.
It's been more divided when it comes to this being a Captain America movie or a third Avengers movie. I think half the people say it's more of an Avengers movie, half of them say it's more of a Captain America movie.
But both people who say that also said they loved it.
Yes.
So
this movie includes the single greatest superhero action sequence, the airport hangar sequence. They've been raving. Everybody,
for so much people have been hyping that up. That better be just the greatest action scene ever. It better be,
right? I mean,
honestly,
I think someone said it was 17 minutes long.
That's incredibly long for an action scene. That airport action scene seems to be probably just as long as the end of the Avengers.
We've talked about how the Russo brothers had a goal in mind for Winter Soldier to up the ante in terms of the action.
They did it.
And it seems like they're going to do it again with this movie because they even brought in some of their director friends to help.
Did they?
Yeah, they did. I don't remember who they were. It was reported on Collider a couple days ago that they brought in some of the director friends to help really coordinate the action to up it up even more.
Wow. The fact that they're going to be tackling Infinity War, this all really bodes well. When they've given the Russo brothers the Infinity War after Winter Soldier, I was a bit skeptical. I was like, yeah, because even though they've worked on some of my favoriteest TV shows and the Winter Soldier was absolutely amazing, I was like, but they've never really worked with an ensemble. This was their first big feature film.
Civil War would be the ensemble test, obviously.
Yeah, and that was the test, and they nailed it.
From what we've heard. Again,
we've heard.
We don't want to pretend that we've seen it.
Yes.
But we're trying to report to you all of the things that have been said and what negatives have been said about this movie.
The villain,
right? Which again, that kind of
I'm very interested to see. It
really irks me because the Russo brothers did great with the villains in Winter Soldier. I mean, even Alexander Pierce was menacing as well as the Winter Soldier himself was great in that movie. So I'm wondering what went wrong. But then again, this movie doesn't depend on a villain. The villain is the main focus of Civil War is the two sides of the Avengers.
What irks me is the fact that there's even a villain at all.
Exactly.
I think that's maybe where it comes from.
From what I hear, Zemo could have been completely taken out of this movie and not put in. And I wonder, is Zemo supposed to be Hydra? Because I don't want to
seen the movie.
spoil anything, but if you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Hydra... Okay, moving on. I think it's 8 days now.
Is it 8 days?
It's a week from...
Thursday.
We're almost there.
Exactly a week.
Go ahead.
Almost there. We're almost there.
The fact that you find that funny.
No. I find it funny
Pisses
because
me off.
you're pissed off of that. You seem downright disgusted that he took that song from one of your favorite movies.
No, because the fact that you're like you handed it to him and then like you think it's funny, it's just like, oh god. I'm having a mental breakdown on camera. Is there any surprises that you think will happen with this film? Do you predict any deaths, anything along that line?
Deaths could certainly be a surprise. I don't think that's definitely out of the realm of possibility. I think there are certainly some people that could be on the chopping block in this movie. Are we ready at this point to see who it could be? Look, let's start with the most controversial. I think, like Kyle himself has pointed out several times, it would be very controversial. And I think it definitely would be in the cards, even though I think it's highly unlikely that Captain America could be off in this movie. Or maybe even the Winter Soldier. I think the Winter Soldier could die in this movie.
You know what? I predict nobody's gonna die in this movie.
Like every other Marvel movie.
But
I think there have to be some casualties though.
Obviously Rhodey has been teased a little bit, but because the fact that they're teasing him so much, I don't think they're gonna off him.
Honestly, I think maybe Bucky has a good chance of being offed in this movie.
Maybe
because he's such a central focus to character story in this movie. It would make sense that his loss would really be the loss of his side for Civil War.
But realistically, it would probably be with what Kyle said, and no one's gonna die. No real deaths, I think. No real big ones.
Well, regardless of the matter, people seem to be convinced that this is a really monumental movie.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith said that this was the best comic book movie ever made.
Some pretty high praise.
I mean, I swear it's like people are putting this over the Avengers, and that kind of gets me like, whoa.
For the most part, but I do feel there are certain things that sometimes get a little bit of hype.
Yeah.
And then, people really buy into it.
I'm really excited to see the whole emotional, scenes between Tony and Cap. I'm really looking forward to
is what I am most interested in.
Yes. And what side we fall on ultimately.
Yeah,
you
that's
and I
going to
are
be very
still
interesting.
undecided.
Yeah, I'm undecided.
Honestly, I'm fine with it being undecided. I want to make my choice as it's presented to me in the movie. I don't care for all this Team Iron Man, Team Cap.
Are you going to be flip-flopping throughout the entire time? The entire movie?
I've been known to do that.
Yes, you have.
So it wouldn't be a surprise to me.
A regular old...
Fuck you! Don't go there! Moving on! And on my birthday, really, God, I'm excited for this. This is my #1 most anticipated movie of this year. I loved The Winter Soldier. I loved the fact that the Russo brothers came back. Captain America has become my favorite Avenger. My expectation was this would be a great movie and I would have a great time with it, and I expect no less.
Going into this year, it was my second most anticipated film. My first one kind of let me down. This was definitely my #2. Shut the fuck up. You.
I'm not laughing at that one.
I know. Civil War is definitely my #2 as far as anticipated.
Go on, Peter. You laugh. You asshole.
This is the face of a very defeated man. Very defeated.
Okay.
Civil War was my second most anticipated film of this upcoming year. Son of a fucking bitch!
It was waiting for you to start talking.
It was very much waiting. Civil War is my second most anticipated film. I had a few reservations going in as far as how they'll handle a couple of aspects of the film, but looking at a lot of the reviews that have come out for it, it's sort of put my worries to rest. So going into the film, I'm just gonna be ready to have a good time with it. It could reach that 200 mil.
I think it will.
I think it could.
I think it will. I'll say this. Look, the tracking numbers currently have it anywhere over 175 to 190. I think it'll easily match Age of Ultron's numbers and maybe even exceed that. I think.
How much did Age of Ultron make?
191.
191.
Yes. I think it will crack 200 easily, and I think it has a great potential. Not that it will, but it could match or exceed Jurassic World's opening of 210. I think it could. It has the hype of an Avengers 3, and I think it could easily overtake both Avengers. It won't do 166 million.
Why you gotta throw shade like that?
Because it deserves it. It lost to the boss.
We're gonna cut
weeks
this part out.
In
We're gonna
a row.
cut this
When
part
you lose
out.
to the boss at the
he's-
box office,
So he's Alexis.
how can you defend that?
He's
Tell
Peter.
me, how can you defend that?
This is BNC Round-Up.
I'm Alexis, and this is Pete. This is Peter, and I'm Alexis. We're done. I'm sorry. We're just having a long day. This is the Barely News for the place where all things movie news and reviews. And until next time, bye bye.
I can make a song with the metaphor straight out of my head. I can make you sing, I can make you sing it out loud.